Welcome to CNA Plus. It's our daily segment to showcase all that's trending in the newsroom with you, our CNA audience. Well, droughts, wildfires, and floods have become more frequent worldwide, and such is the impact of what has become the most critical threat facing mankind in the 21st century. Now, in the face of the looming crisis, experts and activists in some countries are turning to their political leaders, calling for more action and less apathy. Joining us here in the studio today is Shehzad Hameed Ahmad, the producer of the new three-part CNA documentary series, The Politics of Climate Change. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. So climate change is really a topic that's been really making headlines for a number of years now. We've seen a lot of documentary of it too, but what's new about your document series? What are you trying to get here?
So as we all know, climate change is real. It's happening to all of us. It's affecting everyone around the globe. The World Health Organization states that more than 250,000 people will die due to climate change in the next 20 to 30 years. But what's unique about this series is that we're looking at the politics of greed, the politics of business that is driving climate change forward. And so the first part of the series, we traveled to Australia, and it's called Australia's Coal Conundrum, that airs tomorrow at 9 p.m. on CNA. And what we looked at was that there's a growing appetite for exporting coal from Australia, and they're exporting this coal all the way to India to make electricity for domestic consumption. And the aim is that these coal companies are promising jobs in the rural outback in Australia. But at what cost?
Right.
So we're looking at that conundrum in particular. And so we investigated how this coal is increasing greenhouse emissions, and rising temperatures are affecting the corals in Australia. So we went underwater, we went to the Great Barrier Reef, and it was quite an experience, but it was alarming to see that 50% of the Great Barrier Reef is dead. And that's due to rising sea temperatures. So coal is having an impact on not just Australia, but to places in Asia as well, where we've seen the warmest temperatures in this year. And this comes at the back of ravaging bushfires in Australia, which we've all covered extensively in the news. And that's what we were trying to question in our first documentary.
All right. So, I mean, it's certainly a very polarizing issue. I mean, no wonder some pundits say the environmentalism is really emerging as a sort of new culture war as well. But, of course, the series have taken you to some pretty special locations, like Pakistan, for example. Okay, can you tell us what you were there for?
So very few people know that Pakistan has, so outside the polar regions, Pakistan has the biggest ice sheet, which starts from Pakistan, goes all the way to India, China, and Nepal. Now, one of the most alarming stats that I found was this ice sheet will not be there by 2100. So that will impact on the water needs of more than 2 billion people in South Asia. So I trekked all the way about 7,000 meters above sea level, and we were filming on these glaciers, which are melting at a very fast pace, and 36% of them will be gone by 2030. So they form lakes, and these lakes burst, and they are vulnerable communities downstream that get flooded. But at the same time, we filmed in Karachi, which is a coastal city, which is running out of water. So we filmed with water thieves. People are stealing water from one locality and selling it at marked up prices on the other. So we investigated it, and we went on a raid, and we arrested some of these thieves. So you'll be able to see all of that on February 8th on CNA at 9 p.m.
Interesting. I mean, waiting for hours or going, days without water supply. I hear that it's a new normal in some of the South Asian cities there. But deforestation is also another topic here in Southeast Asia. I understand you examined the issue a bit further away in the Amazon.
Yeah, so I traveled about 50 hours just to reach the Amazon from Singapore. And so we went to the rainforests, and we were filming with the tribes who are being pushed out because the newly elected president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, wants to start an economic process of development inside the rainforest. These rainforests provide roughly 20% of the world's oxygen. And not just that, they store about 100 billion tons of carbon that we all produce on a yearly basis. So these forests are fast running out, they're being cut. So we were filming with the gold miners. So this demand of gold from the rest of the world is basically putting pressure on these gold miners to cut down the trees. So that's the connect between gold and the rainforest that we're making. So we went all the way over there and we filmed with the tribes of these protected areas. And so you will be able to see that on February 15th.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your stories with us. That was Shehzad, and you can watch Shehzad's new documentary series, which premieres tomorrow at 9 p.m. here on CNA.